Welcome to the Olds Mob 455 garage. We're in the middle of this project that is the 1972 Formula 455, but we're going to be putting the original engine back in it, and we're going to be taking parts off of other engines to put the warmed over 400 back in.
This is actually a 400 car. I had put these 455 albums on here when I put that 455 in there.
Well, you got the 6X heads on there.
Yep. We need to get this done because I want the oil pan off this engine for this 500 cubic inch Pontiac we're going to assemble.
That's going in the Trans Am.
Right.
So we got multiple jobs going on here.
Yeah, this car will be fun to drive too. It's just that this motor's huffing the blues. Got to get it out of there.
These later model cover and this water pump have more bolts, and the guy updated, and when he went to go put all the pulleys on, everything's different. It's none of the belt line up, so he's got to update to all the later pulleys.
Yeah, later pulleys and brackets, but that'll be fine because this later timing chain cover and water pump setup's better than the early style. But I'll put you on a tripod and see how this motor comes out. I spent, I think, maybe 4 hours this morning just unbolting everything, drain the block. So we'll see how it goes. All right, our jack's under the tranny, and we've got the car up just a little bit to try to clear the legs on the hoist. We're gonna see if we can get enough height to get this out I can hear. These engine stands, they never really want to fit in between the legs of the hoist. So what we're going to do is we're just going to roll this car out and bring in the forklift. Support the trans like this. Alright, I'm going to go up with this lift. We'll get that jack out of there. So the trans, I don't even think it's ever been out of the car since I've owned it. Original trans. I'll have to put it in neutral here to roll this car out.
This forklift, I thought it was the craziest thing. It's like, why do we really need a forklift? And since he's had it, we've used it quite a few times, and it comes in handy. So I got to set this thing down. We're going to put it on the hoist.
We want symmetry on the engine stand. And we want maximum height so it's easier to work on.
We got a little bolt bed.
Did it? That's a grade 8. It did that.
It's just such a little bolt.
So let me let off of that a little bit.
Like I said, this thing is a heavy pig. We're gonna need a hammer to bang it through. Or I can take the whole thing off.
This distributor we're going to use in the formula again because the wiring's all set up for it. So we'll shine up this intake. We'll reuse this on the formula. Looks like this is probably a 74 block. Granville, is that what I got this out of?
I think so.
I clean these heads up with a sandpaper roll. This is a zinc fill we did, and then ported it to the 2 exhaust ports. We'll show you that when we get these heads off. I don't really see any evidence of them things hitting anywhere. Those look like Harlan Sharps. Take the tension off these by rolling the motor over as we need to, and get the rock arms and push rods off. That's not supposed to use it.
You got it marked front and back?
Yep. This is a standard bore block. I just honed it out and rebearinged it. Put a cam in it, and it produced good power. I mean, you saw the burnout at the wedding.
Yeah.
But as I recall, I was torquing a head bolt back on. I reused them. One of them snapped, so it looks like I got a couple replacement head bolts in it.
So we're talking over 25 years ago when I met my buddy here. He talked about filling in these ports, the heat riser. So at work I just took a piece of pipe, put it on the bandsaw, cut it off, welded a piece of plate underneath it, got two handles. We filled it up with zinc and just took a cutting torch, and just heated this up until, put a little chink in there for pouring, then set it up, and this goes into the exhaust. So where these two exhausts, would be, there's holes that blow some of the heat up, and then they heat up your intake manifold. Well, we didn't want that, so the headers will function properly instead of being open to one side, because these inner four cylinders are all open to each other with that heat crossover. So as we're pouring, heating this up, we needed something to pour it down in there, and it's gushing out. And then after it's all cooled down, then you have to go in there with a porting tool and die grind it all out. So this is a blob. This is where the zinc is. Some guys use aluminum. Brand new springs, retainers, guide plates. So all this stuff is going to be matched to the cam in here. So these heads will work great on the 400. Our other buddy that has the 67 Firebird with the 455, we took that engine apart and they used aluminum and it shrunk. And the piece of metal's rocking around inside. So when you come here, you'll see the difference between cast iron and this zinc. And there's a seam there. But believe me, this is a lot better. It's all ported out and everything. The air can flow decently. A little bit's gonna get through this crack, but we had it blocked off here anyway. And it just makes it like a solid head instead of having those openings going toward underneath the intake. So on a small block Chevy, I'd made my own stands that were just rod bent, and then you stuck them in the holes where the head bolts would go. But on a Pontiac, you got these bolt holes tapped on the side, and he had made these stands on the side, so you could rotate this any way you wanted for when he ported it. All he did is he knocked off all the casting flash and, made it, like picking your nose. And he didn't go bigger or anything like that. He just cleaned them up so they would flow better than stock. But you can rotate it any way you want. This is nice. And then you'd set a light underneath there. And you had the die grinder working away at it.
Vacuum under there.
Vacuum so it'd suck it out and you're not breathing in a bunch of crap. That's what you do with a stock head. Nowadays, when you got some money, you just buy aluminum heads.
Yeah. The thing is, you have to have a head that has two holes in the same spot across to be able to do this. Like an Oldsmobile, you can't do that.